Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. I wanted to preface this video by thanking all the new subscribers I've gotten recently, as well as thank everyone who likes and comments on my videos. It really means a lot. I post new videos on anime, manga, and light novel recommendations or related topics every Wednesday and Saturday, and Commander content on Mondays. I occasionally do lore videos when Wizards of the Coast releases sets not from the main series, like this past summer's Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, but those are rare. Without further ado, let's get started. For the most part, anime and manga that try to be both battle and ecchi tend to succeed at one or the other. Mixing genres isn't anything new, but more often than not, one of the genres overshadows the other. More time and effort is spent making the ecchi than the fight scenes. This can be seen in anime such as Hexros or High School DxD. Both of these anime have some pretty great cultured moments, but the fight scenes are lacking. They're not as exciting as a pure shonen anime. Once in a while, you get shows where there is some randomly inserted fan service, but you can ignore it or roll with it due to how good the rest of the show is, like Great Teacher Onizuka or No Game No Life. Once in a while, you get a show where the plot is just as good as the plot, like Food Wars or Mushoku Tensei. Food Wars does use ecchi to get you interested in the series, but the cooking, prep work, relationship building, and character growth are what really keep you watching. And while Mushoku Tensei might not be everyone's cup of tea, it is still a modern-day classic and the grandfather of most of the isekai anime you've watched in the last decade. Which brings me to the subject of today's video. Slave of the Magic Capital's Elite Troops is a new manga syndicated in Shonen Jump Plus. Already collected into 9 tankobon volumes, the series is written by Takahiro and beautifully drawn by Takamura Yohei. Seriously, this series is stunningly gorgeous. Beautiful artwork, amazing fight scenes, and absolutely top-tiered moments of culture. The premise of Slave of the Magic Capital's Elite Troops is that our world is being invaded by demons, also known as shuki. A parallel universe has come too close to Earth, and mysterious entrances started cropping up all over Japan. These gates are usually static, but sometimes appear randomly, and people can suddenly find themselves in a demonic metropolis called Mato. The shuki of this other universe are powerful, far beyond human comprehension. Fortunately, it was soon discovered that the fruit, known as peaches, from this other world granted powers to humans, but only to half the population. Which half? Women, of course. The balance of power long sought by feminists and progressives, that women be considered equal in all things, was completely shattered. Women are now the protectors. Most women these days have eaten a peach and have some sort of powered ability. Just like in My Hero Academia, most abilities are just helpful for everyday life. The strong, though, go on to join the elite anti-demon corps. Yuki Wakura, a third-year high school boy, had an older sister who wanted him to succeed. She drilled into him the importance of learning skills that cannot be taught by simply eating a fruit. Yuki is a master of cleaning, cooking, and other household chores. He can sew up a button in seconds. His friends assure him that he'll be popular and a high-demand husband in a few years, but Yuki laments that he wants to be popular now. On his way home from school one night, a gate appears and Yuki is taken to Mato. These events are known as Mato disasters. Yuki's older sister went missing in a Mato disaster 5 years ago. According to the emergency info on his phone, he's supposed to stay there and wait for a rescue. Of course, that doesn't work out too well for Yuki, as he is immediately surrounded by shuki. Fleeing the monsters, he thinks about how he wanted some more excitement in his life, but not this. Looking up, he sees something completely unexpected. A human riding a shuki. Leaping into the fray, sword in hand, is a beautiful woman with long blonde hair. She cuts down the shuki around Yuki and introduces herself. She is Kyoka Uzun, the chief of the 7th unit of the Anti-Demon Corps. Now, we've met the Magic Capital's elite troops, or one of them at least, but we still don't know where the slave part of the title is coming from. That question is soon answered when Kyoka enslaves one of the demons and rides it, Yuki riding behind her, in an attempt to escape the oncoming horde. However, the wounded and enslaved shuki proves to be too slow, and the two of them are caught. Kyoka quickly throws up a barrier, but it won't last. She turns to Yuki and says that the only way both of them are getting out of there is if he helps her. Yuki quickly agrees, not realizing what he's in for. Kyoka is going to make him her slave. She explains that her power draws out and enhances the strength of any being she enslaves, and the only way they're getting out together is if he submits to her. She sits on his chest, ready to dominate him. Yuki, who had never had a girlfriend, never held hands, never even touched a girl, looks at her outstretched finger and licks it. An explosion of power emits from Yuki's body, and when the smoke clears, he is transformed into a beast. Kyoka jumps on his back, and the two literally tear through an army of Shuki. Yuki is fast, powerful, and reactive. The demons merge together to form a giant Shuki, but it's still no match for the combined might of Yuki and Kyoka. With the mission finished, Kyoka releases Yuki. Unfortunately, she does so while they're still in midair. Kyoka lands gracefully, Yuki not so much. Kyoka praises Yuki. She did not expect him to be so strong. But there's one more thing about her ability. You see, a master must reward her slave for doing a good job. And she has no choice in the type of reward. Her body will move of its own accord and fulfill the deepest desire of the slave. Apparently, Yuki is a closet horn dog. Which isn't too surprising. He is a teenage boy after all. And even though he says he's good and doesn't need another kiss, her body isn't finished giving the reward yet. Yuki, happy to have received his first kiss, is forced to the ground and kissed into submission. Never in his wildest dreams would he have ever imagined that his first kiss would be in Mato. Kyoka tells Yuki that her goal is to become the leader of the Anti-Demon Corps. She feels the current leader is too lax, and too many of these disasters keep happening. If even one of the Shuki got free, dozens of people could be killed. But to become the leader, she needs strong supporters. She thinks that with Yuki by her side, she just might be able to do it. Yuki is ecstatic with the idea of becoming a hero and enthusiastically agrees to work with her. He also really likes the idea of getting more rewards from Kyoka, but would never say that out loud. Yuki and Kyoka fill out some paperwork at his school, but with how important the job is, the request is taken care of quickly. He then moves into the dorms of the 7th unit as their caretaker. So before we get any further, let's address the elephant in the room. The initial kiss was the secret desire of Yuki. Kyoka is beautiful, and Yuki is a teenage boy. Of course he'd want to kiss her. Nothing wrong with desire. He didn't let it show on his face. He didn't let his desires paint his attitude or his words. He was respectful and an overall good boy. We're all human, and we all have desires. Not always for sex, but desire is part of being human. Was Kyoka mad about it? Initially, yes. I think she was both angry and embarrassed that she was forced to kiss Yuki. But she knew that her power would force her to do something to reward anyone she enslaved. She may not have known exactly what that would entail, but she had full knowledge that a payment was forthcoming. But afterwards, she invites him to join her. Maybe doing sexual acts with this boy to achieve her goal of becoming the commander is a small price to pay. Maybe it doesn't bother her that much to kiss Yuki. Or maybe she enjoyed it, but is too tsundere to admit it. I believe it's a bit of everything. Another interesting thing about Slave of the Magic Capital's elite troops is that Kyoka can lend her powers to others. So she can actually loan out Yuki to members of the 7th unit, or others in the Anti-Demon Brigade, which happens later on. Which means if someone else enslaves Yuki, the other person is forced to give him his reward. 2 of the girls in the unit are about Yuki's age, but the third is only 11, so I was a bit worried that they would lewd the lolly. However, when it came time for Nei, the aforementioned 11-year-old, to enslave Yuki, his reward ended up being head pats, which I approve of highly. The manga continues to be great, with every new chapter adding another layer to an already great story. I hope Viz picks this up soon for their Shonen Jump app, and I'm certain it will be made into an anime before long. I just hope that the visuals are just as gorgeous in the anime as they are in the manga. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all again next time.